Good evening. So Elizabeth and I were trying to work out what we were doing when the Christmas Carol was first on because neither of us remembered it particularly well. I'm pretty sure I've only... Really? I think I've only seen it once or twice, which is highly unusual for a Christmas special. And of course, we just had a baby and it was Christmas.
We just had a baby.
And so in my mind, Christmas Carol was lacklustre. And that has been my belief forever. And for some reason, I don't watch the Christmas specials generally. When I'm picking an episode of Doctor Who to watch, the Christmas specials are not one that I would choose to watch for whatever reason. And we felt we had to get this one watched because it's been a while since we've done watched an episode. And also we might be watching something else quite soon. We'll talk about that much, much later. So,
We knew who.
yes, yes. So let's skip to the end. What a brilliant, absolutely brilliant, wonderful, magical, fantastical Christmas episode of Doctor Who. I am absolutely flabbergasted that I have forgotten just the joy of it, the intricacies of it, the Moffat-ishness of it, and how beautifully he has managed to, and we see this again and again, and we've seen it in the most recent one, most recent Christmas one, how he manages to take some of his most outlandish sci-fi, wibbly-wobbly timey stuff and make it very, very, very accessible for your Christmas Day audience. And I can't remember what the common reaction was. This was, but well, there's obviously a big hook here, but also just so joyous and full of joy. Joyous and full of joy. What a killer sentence. My gosh, what it's been a while since I've done these, clearly. So, what makes the timey-wimey stuff work? Well, obviously, we're just playing Ebenezer Scrooge, which is quite ironic, really, because at the moment, I'm helping Willie revise that for a GCSE English literature. This is way better than Dickens' version, I'll tell you that for nothing. Put your feelings about Charles Dickens' no. And the whole Ghost of Christmas Present, Past, Future, all that kind of thing. And perhaps this is why the first time around I felt a little bit let down. It is quite hackneyed now, isn't it? This is the thing about reading the Christmas Carol. When we read the Christmas Carol now, we are so familiar with that story that we miss the fact that it's a ghost story, and that completely gets lost, I think, in translation. Yes, madam.
But when you think of it, do you actually think of the Dickens story, or do you think of
No,
the
Muppets.
Christmas Carol?
No, Muppets.
Muppets Christmas.
That is the Christmas Carol too. Yeah. But the way that Moffat treats the Christmas Carol here is immediately recognised. I mean, it's foregrounded so clearly, and it's a lovely thing. And there's nothing at all. Is it meta? I don't know. It doesn't matter. But whilst we have all this, and that's what gives the timey-wimey stuff, and I think it's accessible for the not-wees. I hate that phrase, but there we go. But the absolute moment of genius, and it is a moment of genius, and I've completely forgotten this, and it is joyous and beautiful and wonderful and perfect, is when you realise that Christmas Future is him showing himself to him. And it's just brilliant. And I'd forgotten that, and I gasped. I literally gasped. And it was absolutely beautiful. Genuinely, that was just...
Did you also have a little cry, Daddy?
There may have been a tear. I seem to recall, when I watched this the first time, being a little bit disappointed at the lack of Amy and Rory, but that didn't hit me so hard this time. And this is one of the nice things about hindsight. We're going to get lots of Amy and Rory, more so than most new Who companions, aren't we, coming up, and their story will be wild and interesting and a lot more... varied than other companions we've had. So with the benefit of hindsight, not that we should do that, but anyway, with the rules, but anyway, that was fine and totally in keeping with this Doctor. And talking of this Doctor, this is just utterly joyous for Matt Smith. Is there a Doctor better suited for a Christmas Day episode than Matt Smith? Because he's got that ebullience about him, that sort of... a young man in an old man's body, but the young man part of it can absolutely come to the fore, and then you get the profundity of Christmas and all that kind of thing. And I'm not sure there's another Doctor that can do that as well as Matt Smith, and he genuinely just seems to be utterly flipping delighted that it's Christmas and that he's cracked upon this wacky plan to save everybody, which that lets him play Marley and everybody else in this little escapade. When he lands through the chimney, that's absolutely blissful, and the card tricks. Always watch your Doctor playing, interacting with kids, because I think you get the best version of the Doctor that way. Honestly, Matt Smith during the whole of this is an absolute joy to be around, and it's absolutely brilliant. I have to say, again, something else that may have put me slightly off the last time is that Catherine Jenkins is in this. For those of you that don't know, Catherine Jenkins is one of those opera singers who breaks through to the mainstream, at least in this country. We're not talking, what was the famous one? Now I meant the male one. No, the big one. Anyway.
What's the big one?
No, he wasn't. The Placido Domingo.
Oh.
Him.
No.
Anyway. Catherine Jenkins being one of those guest stars in Doctor who because of her... She's a Beryl Reid type. Because she's so famous at doing something else or a different sort of thing, seeing her in this, I think back then, when she had a bit more prominence, it was slightly off-putting. However, in the second time, I thought she was absolutely great, absolutely brilliant for the role. I'm not mad keen on the song she sang at the end. I'd rather her sing In the Bleak with Minter again, if I'm perfectly honest, because no disrespect to Murray Gold, and I've not said this so far, I think Murray Gold's music is better now than at any point up until this point. I genuinely think he hits his stride in the Matt Smith era, or he has hit his stride in the Matt Smith era. But for the most part, I think Murray Gold's songs fall flat. I'm a massive fan of music. I'm a massive fan of song. And Murray Gold's music is more often than not sublime. His songs, though, don't always hit the mark for me. But there we go. We shall put that to one side, because I do think that Catherine Jenkins adds an awful lot to this. She has a sort of innocence and a charm about her, naivety.
She didn't in real life. She was constantly coked off her face.
Okay, thank you for spoiling the joy. Is that true?
Yeah.
Oh, that's a shame. Really? Okay. Now, the last thing I want to say is this, and I'm going to do an awful thing that I meant to do, and I'm pretty sure it's right. Gambon is dead, isn't he? Could you fact check that for me, please? Right, so again, Gambon is somebody who... I'm hoping you know who Gambon is.
Yes.
Yeah, okay. So I think that Gambon is...
Only 18 months then, to be fair.
Really?
Yeah.
It goes without saying that he's an absolutely magnificent actor. And the thing about Gambon, from my... I've got no weight, no skin in the game for this. He was one of the top flight actors. Maybe not top flight, but, he's one of the upper echelon actors who... manages to retain a sort of humility to what he does. Because with the greatest respect to the world, your McKellans and your Stewarts and that, as brilliant as they are and as charming as they are, occasionally come across as being quite... And that's great, because that's what you want sometimes. But I don't think I've ever felt that with Gambon. And I think, when he puts in the Cockney voice when he's playing the dad figure in this, it's quite broad, isn't it? And of course, it's Scrooge in all but name, and he just throws himself at it. And I think what I missed the first time around with this is that he's got a really tough gig. This role is a tricky role because, for many an actor, just understanding the character arc of this throughout it, for a good proportion of it, he's sat in a room watching a video and his entire history's changing, and he has to do that. And weirdly, I felt he did that. I really felt he did that. And the bits towards the end where he goes to hit himself and then he holds himself, I really felt it. And then the bit when he stands with Catherine Jenkins, and again, that's an odd image. She, who apparently is coked off her head, singing a song, him is Michael Gambon. And yet I believed, and he waves at the TARDIS, and I believed. And that's a hell of an achievement. And I don't know of many other actors that could do that. And yet also, again, Patrick Stewart's not been in Doctor Who. Ian McKellen's not been in Doctor Who. Were they in Doctor Who, you would imagine they would act the Doctor off the screen, with the possible exception, I think you would struggle to do it with Baker, and I don't think Tennant's a definite factor to work around it. But somebody like you know, I love Peter Davison. We all, but Davison couldn't. He's not that sort of image, that sort of personality on screen, is he? But blow me, Gambon gives and takes and works with Smith, and they are brilliant together, and it's just sublime, and you know, it's one of the best, you know, acting performances in Doctor Who, if, in all honesty, because I really think it's a tough role, and I think if that didn't work, it would be abysmal, and it's not. It's absolutely brilliant. So this is one of the biggest turnarounds of any story that I've watched. Oh, that we've watched, and I've got to ask this question because I've yet had to ask this question. I'm going to ask it now. Libby, what did you think of it?
I liked it.
I was underselling it.
Well, I really liked it at the beginning, and then I thought it went a little bit sentimental. If I'm absolutely,
Oh, it's not to your taste, though, is it? That.
But yeah, I'm not a big fan of that. But I did like the bits at the beginning, and I liked the whole past, present, future.
Yeah.
I liked how they did it as well, not just the story, but I actually thought the craftsmanship of how it was done on the screen.
Yeah.
Where you could see bits, like you could see bits of him doing the video and then also being in the video at the same time. So things like that I really enjoyed.
So Moffat-y, isn't it?
So Moffat.
Love the fish as well.
The fish, I love the idea of having fish just like floating around.
Yeah.
Quite like the idea of control the predator and then you control you know, the cattle. No, I liked it overall. I didn't like all the smoochy. Also, I just found it a little bit queasy to have a young lad. So she's the same age.
Yeah.
So she meets him when he is a child.
It's a bit Anakin Skywalker, isn't it?
Then I don't know that reference. Then he grows up, and then they snog, and then he's an old man.
Yeah.
And it's just a bit like, I'm not sure.
Is
about
that just we're too? No.
Well, if it was the other way around, if it was a man who met the person as a girl,
bit Lolita.
everyone would be going, pedo.
Okay.
So
there we go. That's the Libby Collins take, and we all enjoyed that very much, including cocaine and paedophiles. There we go, we've had it all today. Right, okay, so it's been a while since last video. It'll be a while to the next one, I'm guessing, because I really don't think we can get into the next series with something else going on. I don't know what it is that we're going to be watching. It's going to be fucking good, though. So, yes, apologies for delay. But we're in no rush, are we? I don't want this to finish. I'm having a great old time. Hope you're well. No spoilers, because I'm going to try and watch the new stuff at in the evening as a family. I really think that's one of the things about last season that didn't quite resonate with me, and I can't wait to revisit that. But we should worry about that then. But so I'm going to try and save them all to watch them as a family on the Saturday night. So no spoilers, please, from anybody. And enjoy any new Doctor Who that might be coming your way. Farewell.